Hey guys, Chris here with your daily dose of writer's block. Today we will be going over target audience versus target market. These first few videos are going to be going over a few things that come up a lot in writing and publishing, so I just wanted to get those few things out of the way. And it's going to start with this video, which will go over the target audience and the target market and why they are not the same, and why you are not reaching the right people with your books. So the first thing that we'll go over today is the target audience and what that looks like. So a lot of people, they think that the target market and target audience is the same, which it's not. Your target audience is actually going to be your target audience is actually going to be the person that you are marketing this book towards. So whenever you're going towards the target audience, you're going to be thinking of one person. A lot of people in business, they throw this fancy term around. It's called your client avatar. Okay, so they're going to throw this fancy term around. And what that basically means is, what does this client or this person that you want to market to, what does that person look like? What is their personality? How do they act? What are their interests? What do they look like? But for our purpose here, we are going to be thinking about who our reader is. So we're going to be doing a reader avatar of sorts. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of go through the step here and see what that looks like, okay? I'm going to frequently be looking over this, but I have a couple of notes written down so I don't lose track here. So whenever you're looking at the target audience, this is going to be the person that you want to read your book. Who is this person that you want to read your book, okay? So the first thing you have to think about whenever you're thinking of this reader avatar, that we're going to call it, so we have an actual term, is who do you want to be deeply impacted by your book? And this goes for nonfiction, fiction, both of them the same. Who do you want to impact with your book? And this could be, you can do physical stuff, like what do they look like, how old are they, all different types of things. What are their hobbies, what are their interests, all those types of things are what you're going to think about whenever you are thinking about who is going to be impacted the most by your book. And most importantly, whenever you're thinking about your reader avatar, you have to be thinking about, how is this person going to benefit from reading your book? Different people read for different reasons. So, sorry guys. So different people read for different reasons. The top two reasons are, one, to get information, and two, to get an escape from the real world. So whenever you're writing nonfiction, a lot of times what you're doing is you're giving information to people. And when you give information to people, that is going to fulfill what they want. That is going to give them the benefit of finding out things or getting the knowledge that they need. Whenever you're writing a fiction book, if their main goal is to escape from whatever, they're going in their daily life, they have, kids, they have work, they have all different type of situations going on, and they just need an escape, or they want to submerge themselves in a world that's not their own. So what you want to do is you want to give them that. And you have to think about, how is it that you're going to do that? How are you going to achieve that? And that's why I need you to think about, what is this one person? Who is this one person that you basically want to write this love letter to? So you want to think of, little Susie Q that's going to be wanting to read a cute fantasy novel about unicorns and dragons. So how are you going to deliver that to her? And that is how you want to be thinking about your target audience. Sorry, I'm looking at my notes. Okay, so the main point of this is to have the reader feel like the book that you're writing was written specifically for them. And how you do that is you will take a look at how other authors have written their books. So you're going to sit here and you're going to look at the best-selling books in your genre. So just say, for an example, I'm going to throw something out there random, just for hypothetical reasons. Hypothetically, we're writing a book on spirituality. I'm just going to throw that out there. So we're going to write a book on spirituality, and what we're going to do is we're going to go and research in your genre. You can go to Amazon or whatever store it is that you happen to buy books from. You can go and get a couple books from your genre, best-selling ones. You want to get some best-selling books in your genre, and you want to go from cover to cover and figure out everything about that book. How is the book written is one thing that you want to look at. How is the book written? The actual formatting, how it looks physically, the language that's used in it. You want to see also what the cover looks like. How does the description on the back of the cover look? How is the layout? What do the chapters look like? Is there a section and then a chapter, or is it just chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? All of those things, you have to look at those things and see, why is it a best-selling book? And that will give you the answers of what does the reader want. Because if the reader's seeing these things and they're checking out the books and that's the one that they choose, there's a reason why they choose it. You want to sit here and look at the cover. What images are on there? What type of fonts are on there? What is the actual mood or the feeling that you get when you look at that cover? And that's what you want to emanate in your book. That's what you want to put on your book so that it is somewhat competitive to the rest of the bestsellers, and that'll put you at a better ranking to where you might be able to actually compete with those bestsellers and become a bestseller yourself. So when you're creating this reader avatar, there's a bunch of different facets when you're looking at it. And you're going to have to sit here and do your research and really look into it and see for your genre, and it can be anything. I threw out spirituality book. That's nonfiction. And, we can just say, that our person, we can give them a name even. We can say that we're looking at a woman who's between the ages of, let's say, 25 and 34. Woman between 25 and 34, that she is a stay-at-home mom, married, has 2 or 3 kids, whatever. Just for this example, we'll say that she has 2 kids. She doesn't get out much. She doesn't have many friends. She stays at home a lot. And of late, she's been feeling that she's not enough. She feels that she doesn't have any more confidence. She doesn't feel that that she is the same way that she used to be. She's just not feeling the same. And she's looking for that spirituality book to kind of pick her up, give her confidence back, and basically fulfill whatever void that she's having and give her inspiration that she's going to be okay and that she's going to be back to where she used to be. And so what you want to do is basically deliver that to her on a silver platter. What you want to do is you want to take a look at how is the wording in each of these best-selling books that you've read or that you've looked at. How is the wording? What is the feeling that you get when you read it? What is the feeling that you get when you look at its cover? Because a lot of times what's going to happen is they're going to look at the cover, and if it's not creating the right feeling when they look at that cover, they're just going to pass it by. So that's what you want to look at whenever you're creating this reader avatar. You're wanting to see what is exactly what they're doing to appeal to this person. And you're going to want to emanate that, okay? So I'm going to look at my notes again, sorry. And it just goes along with, that's the next note, how will they respond to it? So what you want to do is get a positive response from that person. What you want to do is basically solve their problem. You want to see what the problem is that they might have and be able to give that to them, give them the answer to that. So, you know, our character, you know, our reader, you know, this mom, you know, she wants to feel confident. She wants to feel that she's not just the, you know, cut off from the world and a stay-at-home mom and that's all she's good for and all this other negative stuff that she's feeling. We want her to feel inspired. We want her to feel confident. We want her to feel like she has a place in the world. And so what you need to do is you need to write your book in that way. And you need to always think about how is the reader going to benefit from the book. You don't want to sit here and say, how can I write a book that's going to reap me the most benefits? Because every time when you're writing a book, just like anytime that someone is selling a service or selling a product, you have to think of how is it going to be most useful to the person who's receiving it. And if you're not thinking of that and you're thinking selfishly of yourself, what you're going to gain from it is not going to sit well with the reader. They're going to be able to tell that. They can actually see that in the writing. They can see that with how you present your book and how you put it out there. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to always keep that in the forefront. What is the benefit that my reader is going to get from reading my book? Okay? So you always need to be clear in your message in order to do that. You need to be clear in what is it that I'm going to help my reader get through? How is it going to help this person? How are they going to be overcoming whatever obstacle that they're going to be looking to overcome? Or, you know, in the case of fiction books, you know, what escape is it that they're looking for? What is their interest? You know, what is it that makes them tick and want to read a book? So that's what you're going to want to do. You want to be clear in your messaging, and you also want to know and make sure that whenever you're writing your book that it's going to be beneficial to the reader, you're going to give them what they want, okay? So the second part of this is also the target market. So the target market is different from your target audience, okay? The target audience is the actual person that you're writing this book for. You want to be sitting here and saying, well, this person is sitting right here next to me, and I'm talking to that person, and this is what I want to say to them, okay? So for your target market, you're thinking categories, okay? Target market is the actual people that read personal development or that read spirituality books. You want to think of genre, you want to think of categories, you want to think of just not one person, the type of people that would read this book. That's what your target market is, the type of people that would read this book. The target audience is the one specific person that you want to impact, okay? You see the difference? The one person that you want to impact is the person that is in your target audience. The people that will actually buy your book or that you're actually marketing the book towards is the target market, okay? So it's a lot broader with the target market as compared to the target audience or the person that you want to be impacted, because we all want to go broad. We want to impact as many people as we can. We all want to make those sales. We all want to become that bestseller, but you really can't do that if you're not focused on the target audience. And the target audience is really what's going to keep on the people that are going to be recommending your book by word of mouth, because that's the best way to get free exposure for your book is word of mouth. And if you're not writing in a way that's going to impact them deeply, then what you need to do is you need to figure out, how am I going to achieve that? You need to figure out what is that message that I want to convey to them, and you need to stick by it. You need to really stick by it, because if you deter from that in any way, shape, or form, that's the potential loss of however many readers are actually going to read that book. Because we want to keep them turning the page. We don't want them to get halfway through chapter 1 and put the book down and not pick it up again. So, really be clear on your message. Really be clear on who is your target audience. And the target market is kind of in the background for now. And you can figure that out afterwards. If you know the general genre of what you're going to do, then you kind of know the type of people that are going to be buying this book, and you've already figured that out. So what you need to do is take it a step further and go into figuring out. This thing keeps on going to the other thing. Oh my goodness. I'm using a screen share app that's for my phone. Because I don't like just recording on my phone. I'm using this screen share app so that whenever I'm on here that you can actually see what I'm doing. And it keeps on timing out, so I have to keep touching the screen every time that I do it. Every time that I do it, it's going on to another screen. But anyway, so what you need to do is you need to really be clear on who is the person that's going to be deeply impacted by your work. And it works the same way for nonfiction and fiction. Both of them are the exact same. You need to figure out exactly the same thing for both. And here we go with the ads. So what you need to do is you need to figure out exactly who this person is that you want to be deeply impacted. No, I don't want to track somebody by their phone number. Thank you, Google. But what you need to do is you really need to figure out who is this person that you're trying to impact, and how is it that you're going to deliver what they're expecting. And that is how you're going to really laser target your audience. And and obviously your target market is just general, it's going to be somebody that, for example, that reads a personal development book, or that reads a spirituality book, or that reads this type of book, or does this, or, based on interest, based on a general interest. That's what your target market is. And your target audience is going to be that one person that you want to impact, because these people want to feel like this book was written for them personally, that the author is sitting there talking to them, personally about whatever issue it is that they're trying to resolve, or sitting there talking to them and reading the book to them to help them get that escape from the real world that they're trying to get. Okay, so if this video was in any way helpful, please leave a comment. If you have any questions, leave a comment here. And if you haven't subscribed already, the button is right there, right here. So go and subscribe over there on Writer's Block. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for another episode of Writer's Block TV. Bye.